I think it's time to say enough with the India bashing. Down with the anti-India Bakwas. We need to come here and tell the true. Unfortunately, a lot of the narratives that exist in London and across Europe are negative stories about India. We're hearing things like religious divisions, but that's not what we've witnessed on the ground. We've seen Muslim women in full burqas attending Narendra Modi's rally. Start telling the positive stories of New India, of this great nation on its epic trajectory to becoming a $5 trillion economy. The British media are attempting to simplify something that's very complicated. And they're attempting to say that Modi, he doesn't like Muslims. This is my first time in India. I've never been here before. Within hours of arriving in Delhi, I got straight on a flight to Varanasi to witness a rally roadshow with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. While there, we spoke to a grand spectrum of people of all ages, all professions, all religions and none, who were all communicating to us how excited they were to be getting involved in this festival of democracy. And it can only be described as that because in the streets it was almost like a carnival atmosphere, and it was absolutely electrifying to see this, and it was thrilling to be part of that experience. We were jostling around in the boiling 40-degree heat. I was dripping, but you know what, it was great fun, and the people have been so warming, so welcoming, and we're just so happy to be here.
So my second question to you, that how do you see the coverage elections or India in general? Do you think the India in real is different from the picture painted by the West?
Look, I think it's time to say enough with the India bashing. Down with the anti-India Bakwas. We need to come here and tell the true, positive stories of New India. On the ground, reporting, we're seeing it with our own eyes. Unfortunately, a lot of the narratives that exist in London and across Europe are negative stories about India. We're hearing things like religious divisions, but that's not what we've witnessed on the ground. We've seen Muslim women in full burqas attending Narendra Modi's rally. We've seen examples of the pluralism of this great and wonderful nation. Look, we're here to level up the British media's coverage of this nation, and we're here to get to the truth and find some real facts and bring them home to London.
Do you find anyone, your friend, who is writing multiple stories about, anti-India, anti-Prime Minister Modi on field in India?
I think so. And look, we were with Shashi Shekhar a couple of days ago, who's a very well-respected Indian broadcaster. And he said to us that he believes a lot of these stories are generated to create almost outrage bait. So we're trying to get people to engage with our content, but it's a negative content. And I think, do you know what? It's time to start telling the positive stories of New India, of this great nation on its epic trajectory to becoming a $5 trillion economy in the future. And look, there's loads and loads of positive stories that we can be telling from India, and that's what we're here to do.
My last question to you, narrative built about India in the Western media usually seems to be second-hand and fed to their reporters by others with anti-India agenda. How is affecting the perceptions about India in those countries?
Unfortunately, the perceptions of India across Europe and the West are not good. And this is because we are being fed negative stories from the press. And it's a shame because actually people need to come here, see it with their own eyes, live it, breathe it, meet the people, speak to people on the ground, and you'll be seeing that, New India, global Britain, we can be a force for good. Together, we have shared culture, shared language, shared heritage and shared history. The future, it's in our hands. Look, what's happening is the British media are attempting to simplify something that's very complicated. And they're attempting to say that Modi, he doesn't like Muslims. But it's not as simple as that, because we're talking about specific illegal immigrants coming from places like Bangladesh and Myanmar, okay? But they're tarring him with one brush. They're saying Modi is anti-Islam. But actually, when you get out there, when you get on the ground and you speak to real Muslims, when you speak to Hindus, Sikhs, and people of no faith at all, you will see that India is accepting of all cultures, all religions. And that is the absolutely fantastic thing about this place.